First, I just wanted to introduce our guest speakers, Anthony Siems from COTIT and Paul Walsh from Greenheart. Thank you both very much for joining the fireside today. But Anthony,
hi.
COTIT, what is COTIT and what prompted you and Fabian to start COTIT?
So we created a 360 degrees data traceability platform, which is basically a modular software-driven data infrastructure. And what is that? Well, as most of you might know, most corporate companies have a lot of systems in place, meaning data scattered throughout the organization. So basically what we do with the modular approach, we plug our modules on existing systems so you can start consolidating data and start creating analytics, dashboards, work on your sustainability goals, efficiency goals, and obviously bridge toward new technology such as AI, Internet of Things, and obviously blockchain.
You know, when you talk about the circular economy and the supply chain, are you saying that this begins really with the sourcing of materials, products, and whatever your line of business may be? It starts with the sourcing of materials.
Basically, those are obviously the activities within the supply chain. So sourcing the materials, distributing these materials to become products within the production. But obviously, throughout the entire journey of the supply chain, you have data. And that's where actually the circular economy starts, gathering the data to really start measuring if we truly are sustainable and working towards net zero, or we're still doing something that's actually in a loop of things. Because as most of us know, with the greenwashing and etc., it's like, it's very easy to think it's more sustainable, but then is it really sustainable? How do we know?
So we're moving away from the unidirectional, which is traditionally what all of us have been, a part of and operating in, and moving to this DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, where all of us are exchanging information, and then we start giving incentives to each other, right? Mm-hmm. Both as consumers and the day-to-day industries that all of us are a part of.
Yeah, and I think to make that more as well realistic, because obviously you have these nice initiatives such as the DAO and the blockchain and etc. Last time when we had the discussion, I mentioned, we're talking a lot about the Web3, but officially we're still in Web2, right? And there's a lot of data in Web2 which need to be gathered first. It needs to be gathered and bridge it towards Web3. And last time I mentioned Web 2.5. That's actually where we need to start building Web 2.5 to really bridge toward these new initiatives, which makes information sharing much more efficient and much more better, actually, to have all these initiatives.
It was like when the internet was first born and nobody trusted it. Now we're at that stage again where Web 2 now has to trust Web 3, and that adoption will happen. And it's gonna be very cool to see, because as we know, with the likes of Meta and these PlayStation headsets coming out, VR is becoming a now known thing. It's a lot of people have it. So technology is going to start adapting into that as well. And that's where these bridges from Web 2 into Web 3 will get very interesting.
Yeah. And I think actually the internet is the exact right example of how it should work, right? Because internet is a network of networks. The information sharing works because it's connected to each other. And I think that should happen with data, software, and all of these things that's already out there. And for some reason, we created all of these islands and with these lock-in models and say, this software is the best. No, that software is the best. And then you build into that software. But in the end, it should be all connected, because that's what the internet built for.
So in the VR future that I see, this gamification that is coming, like it's like a No Man's Sky game, Anthony, where you can just go from one world into Ethereum, into the Polygon world, and you're going to have all these metaverse worlds with your avatars and your applications and your data streams and your rewards. So it's very interesting where it's going. It's like the internet 3D in a sense, isn't it?
Multi-dimensional reality.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Throw quantum computing in there, guys, and we're laughing.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I think we're really good. I'm feeling really good after this conversation.
Sean, to jump in there, if any industry or any company is looking for these services, Anthony's company is just it, isn't it? So he's the provider to, if you don't have the knowledge or if you don't have the services, he comes in on top and he starts to implement that technology, if I'm correct, Anthony.
Yeah. We use the components to really make that happen. And if you have systems in place, you can keep the systems, because most of the time migration brings a lot of headache, right? So if you approach it like a modular way, then it's much more easier to replace things and add things on and really enrich and enhance your business moving forward into the future, making your business more sustainable, more efficient, and taking part of the circular economy, obviously.
Right on.
Beautiful. Nailed it.
Love it. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day.
Thank you, Sean and Paul.
Thanks for having us, Sean. Looking forward to any questions, follow up. Thank you.
Right on. Most definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. To everyone. Cheers. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.